Wednesday 1st December update on Strangelove. Aastha saying she is not Aastha, she hates Shlok. Shlok looks on and holds her angrily. He says whatever she says, truth will not change. She asks, why is he doing this? He does not remember anything, as there is nothing to recall. Aspara and Rekha pray that Shlok succeeds. They come to know Sachin fell and Aspara leaves. Indrajeet comes to the chawl with some goons. Manya says this is our locality, and you can't come here. Indrajeet says I don't have to talk to you. Tell me where is Shlok. If you don't tell me, then I will not leave anyone. Rekha calls all the chawl people outside and gathers everyone. She says she will show him, and they all come out with sticks. Manya says they have managed Shlok last time and did not fight with them, not this time. Indrajeet asks again where did Shlok hide with his wife, else he will do police complaint. Rekha says you tell others' wife is yours, is he not ashamed? Manya says go from here, else I will tell police that you came with goons to threaten us. Shlok says how can't she has anything to recall and tells everything how they have seen in life's journey. He asks how can she forget everything. Indrajeet thinks what to do, where to find Aastha, I don't understand. If Shlok succeeds in making her remember her past. Shlok says she has to believe that he loves her a lot. She says let me go my home to my kids and husband. He says I am your husband. You are not Barka. How to make you believe I am saying true and breaks things. He shows the marriage certificate and asks how can she forget this. He shows their happy family and her parents. She looks at the pics. Shlok tells her more instances. She gets dizzy and faints. Shlok says Aastha and holds her. He asks what happened to her. He can't let anything happen to her. He lifts her and rushes out. Indrajeet comes home and thinks what to say. He knows Shlok will be with Aastha. If he involves police, it will be big issue. What to do? Mala asks Kalindi to come for having food and knocks the door. Aju asks why is she worried. Mala says Kalindi is not opening door and tells everything. Aju says I will see, and asks her to call Avadhoot. Shlok gets Aastha to the hospital. He asks Surabhi to check Aastha. She fainted suddenly. Surabhi asks sister to prepare for CT scan and asks the medical history. Shlok says about her accident and memory loss, and whatever happened. Surabhi says I can understand, but please me alone with her, nothing will happen. Trust me, wait outside. He asks will she be fine. She says yes, pray to Lord. He goes out of the ward. Surabhi checks Aastha. Avadhoot asks Kalindi to open the door. Aju asks him to break the door. He breaks the door and they find her unconscious. They are shocked and asks her to get up. Mala brings water. Mala says she will go to doctor and get him. They worry for Kalindi. Shlok calls Aspara and says he brought Aastha to hospital and asks her not to come. There is someone who knows him. She says fine, take care. Varad calls him and he does not take the call. Shlok says once Aastha gets fine, I will talk to him. Surabhi comes to Shlok and he asks about Aastha, what happened to her. She says she took much stress, she is very fragile, we can't say anything now. The sister asks them to come fast. Shlok worries. Indrajeet asks some people about his wife, whom someone kidnapped and shows her pic. He says time is running out. Shlok will be reminding him Aastha's past. I have to reach my Barka before he gets near Aastha. The doctor asks Avadhoot what happened suddenly to Kalindi, and she should not take stress. The doctor says take care of her and give this medicine. Avadhoot says he will take care. Surabhi says it's not normal case. Aastha looks around. Surabhi asks how is she feeling. Aastha asks about her husband. Shlok waits outside. Aastha says call him soon, I have to go to him. Surabhi says relax and sends sister to call him. The sister calls Shlok as his wife wants to meet him. Shlok comes and asks Aastha is she fine. Aastha says he is not. My husband, he is mad. Surabhi asks Shlok to go out. She hugs Aastha and asks her to relax. She asks sister to get the injection. Aastha asks sister does she have phone and calls Indrajeet about the city hospital and asks him to come fast. He says don't worry, I am coming. Surabhi comes to Shlok and says Aastha's memory is lost, she does not remember anyone. She says she has head injury. And he can't do anything now. He asks what, can't the wound get healed? She says she has brain injury and a blood clot, with swelling. She does not remember any past event, and now if he gives her more stress, it's risky for her. She says she believes what Indrajeet said, it's dangerous for her to take stress, she can die. Shlok is stunned. Surabhi telling Shlok to be away from Aastha for her life, as if he stresses her out, he can lose her. He asks is there no other way? She says no. If you want to see her fine and alive, then be away, she will recall everything with time, give her some time. Shlok gets sad and cries. Surabhi asks him to not to cry. He says please do something. She is my life, give me my Aastha back. She holds him. He says I don't want to lose Aastha, I lost everyone. She says wait for her full recovery. You are a winner, you can't lose, I won't let you lose. He says I can't imagine my life without her, I am out of coma, but I did not get my life back. Don't know what game is fate playing with me. She says Aastha will be fine, such incidents needs time. Sometimes such things rehappen and patient can recall everything, but we need some time. Don't be impatient. Aastha is weak and can't handle more stress. I am your friend, so I am asking you to be away from her. He says make her fine. She says it's not in my hands now, if you love her, then stay away from her. He leaves. Avadhoot recalls the doctor's words that Kalindi is getting in depression. Aju pacifies him and says there will be some good reason for what is happening with us. He asks her to look at Kalindi's state. Aju says I just know when the storm comes in dark night, the next morning is very beautiful. He says I can't see any morning, I can see a long never-ending night. She reminds him how he used to fell while driving cycle, his dad used to say courageous man wins and what he used to say. He says if he smiles and faces things, no sorrow can hurt them. Kalindi coughs and he tells Aju that Kalindi was acting, she wants her favorite ice gola. He makes them smile. He says we will go to have her fav ice gola. Aju says, great, I was thinking it's long time. Kalindi says she will not come. Avadhoot asks her to forget what happened. He knows our Aastha is not with us, but we will get her, if she comes and sees her in this state, she will be sad. Shlok thinks what to do. If he goes away from Aastha, how will he live his life? How can she go leaving him? Surabhi looks at him and feels sad for Shlok. Shlok recalls Aastha's words and cries. Indrajeet comes to the hospital and Shlok gets angry seeing him. Indrajeet goes and hugs Aastha. Surabhi asks is he your husband? Aastha says yes. I told you that man is not my husband. Shlok looks on. Aastha says he is Indrajeet Sarkar. Surabhi says it's good you came. Aastha needs rest. Can you wait outside? Indrajeet says fine. I will stay out. Call me if you need anything. Aastha says no. Please let him be with me, so I can rest. Surabhi says fine, you can sit, but she needs rest, take care of her. Indrajeet thanks Lord that Aastha's memory did not come back. Virid tells Sojal that he is unable to focus on work and is restless. We will go to Mumbai to Shlok. She says fine. Shlok calls him and Virid asks how is he. Shlok says Aastha is in hospital. I did not say before, I did not wish to give you tension, and tells him everything. Virid says I am coming to you. Shlok asks him to come, he needs him. Sojal asks what happened, what did Shlok say? Virid tells Sojal about Aastha. He says Indrajeet Sarkar has kept Aastha as his wife. Shlok has hidden big pain in his heart. Sojal says what? Aastha is with Indrajeet, why? Virid says she lost her memory. Indrajeet changed her identity. Aastha feels she is his wife Barka, maybe he got her after accident. Now she is sure that she is Barka after his stories. I hold myself responsible for this. Shlok and Aastha are not together. Aai is not with us. Baba is in this state. We lost so much because of my one mistake. Shlok lost a lot. How will he feel when he sees Aastha with Indrajeet? Sojal asks him not to blame himself. Mistake can happen by anyone. Think how to make future better. Don't lose strength. Else who will manage Shlok? He says yes, you are right. I will not waste time on past. My aim is to unite Shlok and Aastha. She says we will do this together. He says yes, they did a lot for us. Now it's our turn. Shlok will win. She says you did not take new projects because of Shlok. We will be with him in Mumbai till everything gets fine. Aspara says she did not like Aastha before, but she helps us by giving food truck to me and you. Aastha and Shlok helped in Papu's birthday and also to fight against Raghu. I am stunned how can she forget Shlok? Rekha sys don't know why this happened, but if it's written in fate. Apsara wishes Shlok and Aastha to unite. She can't see Shlok like this. Two lovers should always be together. Why is Lord testing them? Rekha says yes, they will win. Everything will be fine. Aspara says she will walk barefoot to temple if this happens. Shlok thinks why did Aastha come in his life? If she had to go, will she not recall him? Surabhi comes to her and asks him not to fight with himself. She has seen Aastha regards Indrajeet her husband, she is attached to him. He says I know. So I am angry. Indrajeet trapped her and told his children that Aastha is their mum, but this is not true. She says I trust you. Please go from here now. She sees Indrajeet coming and starts acting. She scolds Shlok and asks him to go from here. Aastha's life can be in risk if he puts pressure. Shlok sees Indrajeet. She asks guards to take Shlok out. Indrajeet looks on. Shlok leaves. Indrajeet thinks this happened because of Shlok. I have to talk to him.